Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and I'm bringing you three different news regarding to Real Madrid, really important, but maybe the most important because it's a major blast right now going on in Real Madrid. It is the news that we heard from Onda Cero in Spain that claims that Real Madrid, Florentino Perez, has decided to listen any single offer for any single player of Real Madrid, which means that every single player of Real Madrid, every single Real Madrid player of Real Madrid is right now in the market, and all of them are potentially sellable. I mean, if the right offer comes through for whoever it is, whether Martin Odegaard, Mariano Diaz, Marcelo Vieira, Isco Alarcón, Florentino Perez will take the offer, will think about the offer, and if the price is right, if the price is fair, he will sit down with whoever it is to sell the player. I mean, that is the most important, but I don't want to start this video talking about that. I'm gonna get back about that topic by the end of the video, because before that I would like to talk about one of the most attractive and important things that had happened yesterday with the return of Eden Hazard to Real Madrid. And it is not because Hazard returned to Madrid after vacation, it was because about all the comments and rumors in the social media regarding to his shape. And of course, he had to go to the medical test, and in that medical test, he had to take the shirt off and show everybody what is this shape right now, what is his shape right now. I mean, all the people were wondering, okay, is Eden Hazard again is again in shape, is completely out of shape, is overweight, what is that? When it comes to physical condition, what is going to happen with Eden Hazard? Okay, let me tell you what, and let me give to you all my own shape about what I saw in Eden Hazard's body. I mean, from a personal trainer perspective, in my opinion, Eden Hazard is not out of shape, is not overweight at all. I mean, it is in much better condition than when he first came up to Madrid 2 years ago. I mean, the first time we saw Eden Hazard back in 2018 coming to Madrid, completely out of weight, completely out of shape, that was just, stunning, because you never expect from an elite player, from a top player, to show up in the worst physical condition ever. So everybody was expecting to see a much better condition and physique from Eden Hazard. So what I saw yesterday, it was not pretty much though, because the images, the footage is coming from the front, is not showing any single part of the belly of the, it was pretty much more about the chest and the shoulders. So from my point of view, Eden Hazard is in a very, decent way, is not overweight at all. He might be better though, but in my opinion is acceptable enough to play, right? So I think he is in his weight right now. Is not super fit because he has never been fit, 100% fit, and before. And of course, it is a pretty much decent weight for playing in Real Madrid when it comes to Eden Hazard. For example, if you compare the footage from Eden Hazard to the footage from Fede Valverde, you see kind of more angular, not muscular player, but more angles and more, kind of different squares in the shoulders of Fede Valverde, who in my opinion is in a much better shape than Eden Hazard, of course. So the bottom line of this whole thing is pretty much to tell you all that shouldn't be any kind of speculation about the weight of Eden Hazard, because in my opinion, Eden Hazard right now is in his right weight, and of course is ready to go and play in Real Madrid. He might be better, of course, but it's not bad. I mean, it's not awful or something like that, like in the first 2 years ago when he first showed up in Madrid. So now let's move on and let's talk about another player who is going through a very weird moment right now in Real Madrid. I'm talking about Martin Odegaard, and the reason for that is pretty much because the player I mean, the latest rumors that we have, it is about that Martin Odegaard might leave Real Madrid to get back to Arsenal. So, right after we heard about that, all los Madridistas, or a big part, a big chunk from the Real Madrid fans, decided to literally to blast Martin Odegaard, because in their opinion, Martin Odegaard doesn't have the ambition enough to play in Real Madrid, because this is what Real Madrid is all about. It's about ambition, it's about to fight for a spot, it's about to fight for being the best one, for being the best player you can be, competition with other players and things like that. So if Martin Odegaard wants to leave Real Madrid right now, right after just one game, in the opinion of a big part of the Real Madrid supporters, it is because he doesn't have the ambition enough to play in Real Madrid. So they are okay with that if he finally leaves Real Madrid and go out and play to Arsenal or sign for any other team in the world. And I'm going to include myself in that in that portion of the Real Madrid supporters who think that if he doesn't feel ready to go, if he doesn't feel comfortable enough in Real Madrid, then the best way for him is to quit, to get out of Real Madrid right now and sign for any other team in Europe where he doesn't feel the pressure that he will feel in Real Madrid. Because this is just the beginning, man. I mean, if you are complaining right now that if you only have one single game this season, I don't want to imagine what is going to happen to you. I mean, your mind, everybody will blow your mind, because in Real Madrid, man, you have to get used to the whistles and the boos and all this stuff. And you have to be ready for it, because every single legend in Real Madrid has gone through the same thing. I mean, Zinedine Zidane, Luis Figo, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo Nazario, all of them, Iker Casillas, Sergio Ramos, all of them have been whistled at some point in Real Madrid. So if you don't get used to that, you better go out of Real Madrid, because you're not ready to go, definitely. So, yeah, I mean, I would be okay though if he stays in Real Madrid, because I think he's the kind of player we really need for the midfield. On the other hand though, I still think that he should leave Real Madrid right quick if he doesn't feel ready to feel the pressure and feel the whistles and all the stuff, because it is worse, because this year the public will be back in the stadium, so he will notice if he likes to the people or not. So that is very important when it comes to a player like Martin Odegaard, who apparently is very sensitive to all this kind of criticism and mayor blastings and all the stuff. So you better go out of Real Madrid if you don't really feel ready to go, because it's gotta be worse. And when you perform bad or you have a very bad game or something like that, the people from Bernabeu will let you know that they are very upset, and they will be very, very mad at you if you don't play like you are supposed to play. So be careful with that, Martin, because Real Madrid is not a joke. It's something really serious. Okay, so now I'm done with Martin Odegaard, and let's move on and let's keep talking about something even more important that might include to Martin Odegaard, and it is that Real Madrid, according to Onda Cero in Spain, is deciding to put all the players in the market, which means that if a good offer, a decent offer, a fair offer comes through for every single player of Real Madrid, whoever it is, Marcelo, Isco, Odegaard, Mariano, Jovic, or whoever, Florentino Perez will take the offer and seriously, and will consider to sell the player and sit down with whoever the team and try to negotiate a good price or whatever. I mean, we are open and wide open to sell every single player of Real Madrid, and this is not a coincidence. In my opinion, this is something that is happening for any reason. I don't know though the reason, but you don't put all your players on the market if it's not because you are thinking about something else. I can't tell you what is that, but something is going on right now in Real Madrid, because it's really weird Then Martin Odegaard all of a sudden overnight wants to leave Real Madrid. Now some rumors are pointing out for Mendy to leave Real Madrid as well. And of course, we were expecting this summer to see how a bunch of players, many players, would go out of Real Madrid and sign for other teams. So that is something that is not happening, or is not going in the direction he was expecting to go. For example, Rafa Varane and Sergio Ramos were not in the plan, were not expected to leave Real Madrid this summer, and it happened. So when we talk about departures, when we talk about exits and all the stuff, we were thinking about players like Isco Alarcón, Marcelo Vieira, and Mariano, Jovic, and all these players, but not Sergio Ramos and Rafa Varane, right? So what we are seeing right now is players like Isco and Marcelo still on the squad, and Rafa Varane getting out of Real Madrid. So it is a completely nonsense, because I agree we had to get rid of a bunch of players this summer, but not these players. I mean, there are other players who might leave Real Madrid and are still and remain in Real Madrid, and I don't understand, I don't get it. So I don't know what is going to happen as of today, but let me tell you what, this kind of news is a turning point in this summer of Real Madrid. Well, and the other thing is that we are not seeing any kind of, better news or significant improvements in the signing of Kylian Mbappe. Apparently the whole thing, the whole deal is stuck, and we don't know anything about what is going to happen next. So this is not taking the direction it was supposed to take. So let's see what happens, but this is something big.